Have you ever felt like you're playing a different game than everyone else? While most people seem content to skim the surface, navigating life by the most obvious markers, you're constantly diving into the depths. You notice the subtle shifts in tone, the unspoken anxieties in a room, the intricate web of motivations behind a simple gesture. It's like you have a hidden radar, picking up signals others simply don't register. This isn't just a feeling. It's a fundamental difference in how your mind processes the world, a unique operating system running beneath the hood of your consciousness. What you're about to understand today completely changes the way you see your own perception and why you feel so profoundly different. Here's the thing nobody talks about. This acute awareness, this tendency to see beyond the obvious, isn't a flaw or a quirk. It's often mislabeled as overthinking or being too sensitive, as if depth of processing is a bug, not a feature. But this is where it gets interesting. This doesn't mean you're strange. This doesn't mean something is wrong with you. On the contrary, it points to a fascinating and often misunderstood reality. There are real, measurable differences in how our psychological machinery operates, wired right into our brains. While the world often demands speed and superficiality, some minds are built for depth, for nuance, for seeing the intricate patterns woven into the fabric of reality. And neuroscience explains why. Take, for instance, the concept of differential susceptibility theory, sometimes referred to in the context of sensory processing sensitivity, or what Dr. Elaine Aron famously researched as highly sensitive persons. It suggests that some individuals possess a biological predisposition to process information more deeply and thoroughly than others. Imagine a neural filter that, for most people, lets most stimuli through without much scrutiny. For people like you, that filter is incredibly fine-tuned, capturing every detail, every subtle inflection, every environmental shift. This isn't about being fragile, it's about processing the world with greater fidelity. You might walk into a bustling coffee shop and immediately register the specific hum of the espresso machine, the undertone of classical music, the hurried whispers from the next table, and the faint scent of rain on someone's coat, details that most people automatically filter out. This deep processing requires more neural resources, more time, and can sometimes feel overwhelming. But it's also the engine behind profound insight. For minds that dive deeper, that seek understanding beyond the superficial, that value the intricate patterns over the noisy distractions, this channel is a space to explore these unique operating systems. Consider joining a community that thrives on these deeper insights, where your way of seeing isn't just acknowledged, but celebrated. But this is where it gets interesting, revealing a mechanism that often operates beneath our conscious awareness. Our brains are constantly seeking rewards, driven by neurotransmitters like dopamine. For many, the reward system is heavily weighted towards external validation, quick wins, and easily digestible information. The brain reinforces behaviors that yield immediate, tangible feedback. But for the deeply observant mind, the reward can be found in the subtle satisfaction of understanding a complex system, of uncovering a hidden truth, of connecting disparate pieces of information. This internal reward system, often linked to the brain's default mode network, DMN, a network highly active during introspection, rumination, and imaginative thought, can become incredibly robust. While others are chasing the next external high, your brain might be quietly reinforcing the intricate dance of pattern recognition and internal coherence. This sounds contradictory, but it means your brain is wired to find satisfaction in the very act of deep processing, creating a subtle, almost invisible loop that reinforces your tendency to observe and analyze. This deep, often unconscious reinforcement of internal processing can lead to a quiet confidence in your own insights, even when they diverge from popular opinion. It's more serious than it seems because it shapes your entire experience of reality, often without you even realizing it. This brings us to the fascinating difference between two broad psychological profiles. On one side, you have the external processor. These are individuals who often clarify their thoughts by speaking them aloud, who thrive in highly stimulating environments, who are energized by constant interaction. They often make quick decisions, prioritizing action and immediate results. Their reward system is often externally calibrated, driven by visible achievements and social feedback. Then there's the internal synthesizer. This profile, to which you likely belong, is characterized by a tendency to process information internally, to deliberate extensively before speaking or acting, and to find energy in quiet contemplation. You don't just register data, you synthesize it, integrating new information with a vast internal library of experiences and insights. While the external processor builds their understanding through outward engagement, the internal synthesizer constructs a rich, multidimensional internal model of the world. Both approaches are valid, both make sense, but they lead to vastly different experiences of reality. You're not just thinking, you're building a complex internal universe. And this difference extends profoundly into how we experience empathy, shape our identity, and seek validation. Most people experience empathy, but the type and intensity can vary. You might be familiar with the distinction between cognitive empathy, understanding another person's perspective intellectually, and affective empathy, feeling what another person is feeling emotionally. People like you often exhibit a heightened degree of affective empathy. You don't just understand someone's sadness, you might feel a resonance of it within yourself. This intense emotional attunement can be both a gift and a burden. It allows you to connect on a profound level, to anticipate needs, to understand the unspoken. But it also means you're more susceptible to absorbing the emotional states of those around you. This deep empathy shapes your identity, anchoring it less in external roles or achievements and more in your capacity for profound connection and understanding. While many derive their self-worth from external praise or societal approval, your validation often comes from the internal alignment of your observations with your understanding, from the coherence of your own internal model. You are not broken for feeling deeply. You are profoundly insightful because of it. But where do these deep-seated preferences come from? The origins are often invisible, woven into the tapestry of our past experiences and the subtle ways we learn to navigate the world. Perhaps there were early experiences of feeling overwhelmed by sensory input, leading to a natural inclination to withdraw and observe. Or maybe you experienced subtle forms of rejection or exclusion for not fitting into the dominant, more outwardly focused mold. This isn't about trauma, it's about adaptation. A heightened awareness, a hyperconsciousness, can emerge as a powerful defense mechanism. If you're constantly picking up on subtle cues, you're better equipped to anticipate potential threats, to understand social dynamics, to navigate complex situations with greater precision. Your brain might have learned that vigilance, observation, and deep internal processing were the most effective strategies for survival and thriving. This isn't a pathology. It's an evolved, sophisticated strategy, turning what might seem like a disadvantage into an incredible asset for navigating a complex world. This leads us to a fundamental question. How do different people search for meaning and purpose in life? For many, meaning is constructed through external narratives. A successful career, a family, a prominent social role, adherence to established traditions. They find purpose in participation, in being a visible part of a larger story. But for people like you, the search for meaning often takes a different path. It's less about adopting an existing narrative and more about creating your own, about forging meaning through deep understanding, through the intricate connections you uncover, through the subtle insights you cultivate. You might find profound significance in a pattern observed in nature, a philosophical concept, or the quiet act of synthesizing complex information. You are less a passive spectator in life and more an active creator of meaning, building your internal framework of understanding, piece by careful piece. Neither approach is inherently superior. They are simply different blueprints for constructing a meaningful existence. And this internal focus naturally influences how you experience states of flow, presence, and consciousness. The concept of flow, popularized by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, describes a state of complete absorption in an activity where time seems to disappear. For many, flow is achieved through intense physical activity, high-stakes challenges, or engaging social interaction. But for the deeply observant mind, flow can often be found in the quiet intensity of internal exploration. Deep reading, complex problem-solving, artistic creation, or simply sustained contemplation. You might experience flow when meticulously dissecting an argument, when connecting abstract ideas, or when simply being present with the intricate dance of your own thoughts. It's not about being in the moment in a purely external sense, but being deeply present with your internal landscape, operating within your own intellectual and emotional axis, rather than being constantly pulled by external demands. Your presence is internal, a deep immersion in the rich tapestry of your own consciousness. So let's be clear, you are not broken, you are not missing anything. In a world that often prioritizes speed, superficiality, and outward expression, your depth, your capacity for profound observation, and your unique way of processing information are not hindrances. They are a silent, powerful advantage. While others might be swept along by the currents, you are charting the hidden depths. Your ability to see what others miss, to feel what others gloss over, to understand the intricate nuances that escape casual perception, is a gift. It allows you to navigate complexity with an unparalleled understanding, to offer insights that are truly rare. The quiet mind doesn't miss a thing because it's always listening to the symphony beneath the noise. If this resonated, if you recognize yourself in these insights, if you're ready to embrace the power of your uniquely observant mind, join us. There's so much more to uncover. While the world often demands rapid responses and quick fixes, your mind is designed for something deeper, something far more enduring. This isn't about being slow. It's about being thorough, about building solutions that stand the test of time because they are rooted in a comprehensive understanding of the problem's true nature. You may not be the loudest voice in the room, but your insights often carry the most weight, providing the critical missing pieces that others overlook. This capacity for deep foresight, for seeing the ripples before they become waves, positions you not as a follower, but as a quiet architect of understanding, a subtle guide in complex environments. Your influence is not overt, it's foundational, shaping the very ground upon which decisions are made. It's about recognizing that true innovation and lasting solutions rarely emerge from surface-level thinking, but from the patient, intricate work of minds like yours, dedicated to unearthing the underlying truths. This isn't just a way of thinking. It's a profound way of being that the world desperately needs, now more than ever. Consider for a moment the nature of the challenges we face today. Intricate global systems, nuanced social dynamics, and problems that defy simple solutions. These aren't issues that can be solved with a quick glance or a superficial answer. They demand exactly the kind of patient, multi-layered processing that is your natural mode of operation. While others might be drawn to the loudest proposals or the most immediate remedies, you possess the innate capacity to trace the causal chains, to understand the interconnectedness, to see the systemic implications of every action. This isn't merely critical thinking. It's systems thinking at its most profound, an inherent ability to map the unseen forces at play and to anticipate the emergent properties of complex interactions. You are, in essence, a natural strategist, not by training, but by virtue of how your mind is built. Your contributions might not always be flashy, but they are consistently the ones that provide foundational stability and genuine, sustainable progress. You are not just observing the world. You are intuitively understanding its underlying architecture, making you an invaluable asset in any endeavor that truly seeks to build, to heal, or to advance. This unique cognitive architecture also implies a particular form of leadership and influence, one that might not fit the traditional, outwardly assertive mold. While many leadership models emphasize charisma, decisive action, and public speaking, your inherent approach fosters a different kind of influence, one rooted in quiet authority, profound credibility, and the undeniable strength of well-considered wisdom. You lead not by demanding attention, but by offering clarity. Your contributions often arrive as carefully distilled insights, patiently gathered and meticulously analyzed, cutting through noise and revealing essential truths. This isn't about being the loudest voice, but about being the voice that provides the most reliable compass. Others might provide the energy, but you provide the direction, based on an internal map far more detailed than most. This quiet leadership is often underestimated, but it is precisely what allows groups and organizations to avoid pitfalls, to make truly informed decisions, and to build futures that are not just expedient, but genuinely robust and resonant. You are, in essence, a strategic anchor, providing stability and foresight in a rapidly shifting world. However, this profound internal landscape also means you process information differently when it comes to stress and external pressures. The very filter that captures every detail also means that external chaos, conflict, or overstimulation can be profoundly draining. Your system isn't designed to deflect or ignore. It's designed to integrate and understand. This means you need strategies to manage the influx, to create mental space for the deep processing to occur without becoming overwhelmed. It's not a weakness to seek quiet, to need solitude, or to step back from highly stimulating environments. It's a necessary act of self-preservation that allows your powerful internal engine to function optimally. Understanding this need is not about limiting yourself, but about empowering yourself to harness your unique capabilities more effectively. It's about building a life and an environment that respects your operating system, allowing your gifts of insight and empathy to flourish rather than be depleted. This self-awareness transforms potential overwhelm into a conscious choice, enabling you to engage with the world on your own terms, maximizing your impact while preserving your internal coherence. This understanding extends to the very nature of your communication. While many engage in conversation as a form of external processing or social bonding through superficial exchanges, your inclination is often towards meaning-making. Small talk can feel like static, a necessary but ultimately unfulfilling prelude to what you truly seek. A genuine exchange of ideas, a deep dive into a shared interest, or an exploration of complex emotions. You are not necessarily introverted in the sense of disliking people, but rather introverted in your processing. You listen not just to hear, but to understand, to synthesize, to connect the dots. When you do speak, your words are often carefully chosen, distilled from extensive internal deliberation, carrying a weight and precision that can sometimes be perceived as slow, but is, in fact, incredibly deliberate and potent. This makes you an exceptional confidant and a powerful voice in discussions that truly matter, because your contributions are not impulsive reactions, but well-formed insights emerging from a rich internal dialogue. Your silence is not emptiness. It is preparation for profound expression.